It is the ultimate cinematic clash of unbreakable heart versus pure athletic genius. The Italian Stallion, an iron-jawed underdog from the gritty streets of Philadelphia, stepping into the ring against the master of disaster, the undisputed heavyweight king. Can relentless, stubborn willpower break flawless, lightning-fast technique? Let the simulation begin. Long before he became the ultimate symbol of the American dream, Rocky Balboa was a tough, forgotten club fighter scraping by on the hard streets of Philadelphia. He wasn't a polished prospect with a golden pedigree. He was a left-handed enforcer working as a collector for a local loan shark just to pay his rent. Fighting in smoke-filled, dingy arenas for $30 a night, Rocky was largely considered a bum by the boxing establishment. But beneath that bruised, unrefined exterior beat the heart of an absolute titan. Rocky's origin is not a story of natural grace. It is a story of sheer, unbreakable endurance. He possesses an iron chin that defies medical logic and a relentless, plodding forward pressure style designed to drag his opponents into deep, exhausting waters. He fights with the sheer desperation of a man who has absolutely nothing to lose and everything to prove. Rocky Balboa doesn't box to score points. He boxes to survive, endure, and eventually break the spirit of anyone standing across from him. In stark contrast stands the undisputed heavyweight champion of the world, Apollo Creed. Known as the Master of Disaster and the King of Sting, Apollo is the ultimate combination of devastating athletic prowess and brilliant, undeniable showmanship. Inspired by the flair and speed of legends like Muhammad Ali, Apollo transformed boxing into a global spectacle. He didn't just beat his opponents, he humiliated them with blinding hand speed, flawless footwork, and a charismatic, arrogant smile. Before he ever steps into the ring, Apollo is a brilliant businessman and an entertainer, treating the brutal sport as his personal stage. Coming from a wealthy, polished background, his origin is defined by absolute perfection. He has never tasted defeat, never been truly tested, and never met a man who could withstand his lightning-fast combinations. Apollo relies on a snapping, piston-like jab and a dancing rhythm that keeps him completely out of danger. He is a boxing genius, a master tactician who views his opponents not as genuine threats, but as mere props in his ongoing championship parade. What legends say? If the greatest minds in boxing history were to analyze this legendary super fight, the predictions would highlight the ultimate battle between grit and grace. Mike Tyson, recognizing the sheer brutality of the matchup, would focus on the inside game. Apollo is beautiful to watch. He has that unbelievable lateral movement, but Rocky is an absolute nightmare. He doesn't stop coming forward, and he takes punches that would kill a normal heavyweight. If Rocky gets inside and starts working those devastating body hooks, all that beautiful dancing Apollo does is going to stop. You can't dance with broken ribs. Legendary trainer Teddy Atlas would analyze the psychology. This fight comes down to what happens when perfection meets desperation. Apollo has the superior jab, the better footwork, and the higher boxing IQ. He should win this on paper every single time, but boxing isn't fought on paper. Rocky has an unteachable, terrifying level of heart. When Apollo hits him with his best shot and Rocky keeps walking forward, we will see if the champion has the psychological toughness to survive a street fight. Sugar Ray Leonard would look at the stamina. Apollo's speed is blinding, but speed requires massive energy. Rocky is going to test Apollo's lungs. If Creed cannot knock him out in the early rounds, the sheer pressure of the Italian Stallion is going to turn this beautiful boxing match into a very ugly war of attrition. How did Rocky Balboa prepare for a fight? To prepare for the monumental fight of his life, Rocky Balboa entirely rejects the modern comforts of a high-tech training camp. Under the gruff, unforgiving guidance of his trainer, Mickey Goldmill, Rocky's preparation is violently old school and deeply unconventional. He trains in the freezing, bloody environment of a Philadelphia meatpacking plant, using massive sides of beef as heavy bags to build devastating, bone-crushing power in his body hooks. His road work is legendary, running miles through the freezing, pre-dawn streets in a gray tracksuit, pushing his lungs to the absolute limit before sprinting up the towering steps of the Philadelphia Museum of Art. To improve his notoriously slow footwork, Mickey forces him to chase and catch live chickens in a dirty alleyway. There are no fancy sparring partners or cutting-edge analytics in Rocky's camp. He prepares by building an indestructible cardiovascular engine and a tolerance for pain that borders on the superhuman. He is forging himself into a blunt instrument, ready to absorb immense punishment just to land one fight-ending blow. How did Apollo Creed prepare for a fight? Apollo Creed's training camp is the exact opposite of Rocky's gritty isolation. For the master of disaster, preparation is a highly publicized corporate mega-event. Operating out of a state-of-the-art facility surrounded by cameras, reporters, and an entourage, Apollo treats his training like a well-choreographed performance. But beneath the showmanship lies an elite, highly disciplined athlete. Under the watchful eye of his trainer, Tony Duke Evers, Apollo focuses entirely on preserving his blinding speed and untouchable rhythm. He spends countless hours skipping rope with impossible grace, perfecting his footwork so he can float effortlessly around the canvas. His sparring sessions are highly technical. He brings in a rotation of fast, elusive fighters to ensure his reflexes remain razor sharp. He hits the speed bag with a staccato machine gun rhythm, conditioning his shoulders to throw hundreds of rapid-fire jabs without fatigue. He does not train to take damage. He trains to be a phantom, a flawless boxing machine designed to dissect his opponent with surgical precision while remaining completely out of harm's way. Analysis. Physically, this matchup presents a classic clash of opposite geometries. Rocky Balboa is a southpaw, standing at 5'10" with a heavy, densely muscled build. His stance is awkward and defensively flawed, often leading with his face, but his sweeping left hook and body punches carry terrifying, fight-ending leverage. Apollo Creed is the taller, rangier fighter at 6'2", operating out of a traditional orthodox stance. He possesses a massive reach advantage, vastly superior hand speed, and textbook defensive head movement. Psychologically, the dynamic is equally compelling. Apollo is supremely confident, perhaps bordering on arrogant, accustomed to dominating his opponents mentally before the fight even begins. Rocky, however, is completely immune to Apollo's psychological warfare because he is driven by a profound internal need for self-respect. The defining factor of this simulation will be the clash of pacing. Can Apollo's piston-like jab and lateral movement keep the aggressive southpaw at bay? Or will Rocky's iron chin allow him to walk through the fire, cut off the ring, and drag the champion into a brutal close-quarters slugfest? Arena and fighting rules. To host a fight of this incredible cinematic magnitude, the simulation takes us to the roaring, historic atmosphere of the Philadelphia Spectrum. The arena is packed to maximum capacity, completely divided between corporate elites in the front rows and screaming blue-collar fans in the bleachers. The rules are the unforgiving classic championship standards, a scheduled 15-round heavyweight bout. Both fighters wear standard 10-ounce leather boxing gloves. There is no 3 knockdown rule, and a fighter cannot be saved by the bell in any round. Apollo Creed enters the ring dressed in his iconic, flamboyant American flag trunks, radiating absolute superstardom. Rocky Balboa steps through the ropes wearing his simple, worn-out white trunks with a red stripe, looking intensely focused, ready for the defining war of his life. The opening bell rings and the Philadelphia crowd unleashes a deafening roar. Apollo Creed immediately takes the center of the ring, bouncing on his toes with that beautiful, untouchable rhythm. Marky marches forward, his guard loose, trying to close the distance. Apollo fires a blindingly fast double jab, followed by a crisp right cross that snaps Rocky's head back violently. The speed difference is instantly apparent. For the first few rounds, it is a masterclass by the champion. Apollo dances around the heavy-footed Italian Stallion, picking him apart from the outside, painting Rocky's face with rapid-fire combinations. By the third round, Rocky has a deep, bleeding cut over his right eye, but Rocky does not stop coming. In the sixth round, Apollo, perhaps getting slightly overconfident to please the crowd, plants his feet to land a heavy uppercut. Rocky absorbs the massive blow, steps inside Apollo's guard, and unleashes a devastating, bone-crunching left hook directly to Apollo's ribs. The champion gasps, his eyes widening in shock as the breath leaves his lungs. The dynamic of the fight instantly shifts. As the fight drags into the deep, terrifying waters of the later rounds, Apollo's dancing slows down. The relentless bodywork from Rocky is taking a massive toll. Both men are bruised, battered, and bleeding heavily. In the 14th round, it is an absolute war of attrition. They stand toe-to-toe in the center of the ring, completely abandoning all defense. Apollo fires a desperate heavy right hand that rocks Rocky to his core, nearly dropping him. But Rocky bites down on his mouthpiece, shakes it off, and fires back with a sweeping, thunderous southpaw left hook. The punch lands flush on Apollo's jaw. The champion's eyes roll back, and he crashes heavily to the canvas, sweat and blood flying through the air. The crowd is in an absolute frenzy. Apollo desperately uses the ropes to try and pull himself up, his champion's heart fighting against his failing equilibrium, but his legs refuse to support him. The referee reaches the count of 10. The winner. The arena explodes into absolute pandemonium. Instead of celebrating, a heavily battered Rocky Balboa limps across the canvas to pull an exhausted Apollo Creed into an emotional, blood-stained embrace of mutual respect. In this grueling simulation, Rocky's unteachable willpower overcame the flawless technique of the master of disaster. While Apollo dominated the early rounds with blinding speed, Rocky dragged the king into the deep waters of a street fight, proving that an unbreakable heart can eventually conquer absolute athletic perfection. It's your turn. What an unbelievable clash of heart and skill here on Quiet Power. Do you agree with this underdog victory, or do you think Apollo's speed would have secured the win? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. If you loved this simulation, please hit that subscribe button and drop a like. Next up, we are stepping back into the heavyweight division for a terrifying collision of pure, unadulterated knockout power. Iron Mike Tyson taking on the king of the four-rounders, Butterbean. You won't want to miss it. Stay legendary.